a lot of people are passing up because, not necessarily because of illness, but because of depression. People are suffering, and they are suffering silently. We have had war, we had protracted war, and people have taken more responsibilities, more children. So you see them in the street. The young people in the street that don't want to cause problem, we are blessed. The young people in this country were troublesome people. You won't come from Robert's field here without armed robbery. You will sit and change money in the street. All they're telling you is that improve our life and we'll be decent people. And that's what we committing ourselves to doing for them.
Right, so elections global finance is a unit deposit ready. The financial muscle, how is it? Is this financial muscle strong? I mean,
the money that we need,
yes, you know, go to Buto, go to Banga, go to Limba, just everywhere.
The money that we need to pay with will be made available.
I mean, this is government.
Well, yeah, I wish money was the only thing.
The entire city is right now with the vehicles, everyone see the billboards and everywhere. You can see Ambassador Joseph on the billboards. That means that the public will have so much. It's a financial.
You can tell when MARKA go to communities, the people turn out. They want to see him, they want to hear from him. They know he has a proven record of service. This government, we know they have access to the finances, and the same access to the finances will be because of their profit. Where the finances coming from. They believe it. They don't believe in accountability. So they believe in spending money that you don't have to tell anybody. But the Liberians are going to ask them, where did the money come?
There's a new tradition now. Elections now go with money in our country.
They go with money?
Yes, they use go with money.
I think you'll be surprised. This election, they will eat your money and they will vote again.
Are you sure about this?
I'm not sure.
Someone wears a CDC t-shirt or perhaps an ANC t-shirt, and why they have a Joseph Boyka t-shirt. So you see the same person in this group is the same person in the next group. I mean, I would say it's a regular thing now.
But you're not in their house.
I'm not in the house.
They are looking for survival, but they know that short-term survival will not be the solution to their problem in this country.
If I actually do great as George Weah government, almost 6 years, what will be percentage-wise to try to round up? How will you grade this government?
Well, they'll be lucky to get a 47%. That's what I think.
I mean, the Minister of Finance tried to build some IMF record or something. We have the new currency coming. 5,000 metric tons of rice is in country now. The road from Monrovia to Lupato, you can drive free lanes. Are you ready for the 5%?
Why don't you just make an attempt to go to Lupa? Everybody going to Lupa now, they go through Australia. Most of the people, they go through Australia. And even now, going through Australia, just on our side.
I mean, the rain season, you can walk through the rain.
You can walk through the rain.
Yes, similar to the highway.
But
yes, you have to wait for the rain season.
But they don't also work during the dry because they're preparing for the rain season, start from the dry season. So if you didn't work during the dry season, the rain season is not going to be good for you.
How can they convince Liberians to give you the presidency? 2023. Joseph, imagine me calling on the True Breakfast Show, folks who have President Joseph Limon White, her life will be on air.
You better start practicing.
So I started thinking, I don't want to be the president. I think President George will have money. I can say, good morning, President Joseph Limon White.
You better start practicing the Liberians.
And brother Joseph Boyka, until he announced his running mate. Shortly after that, there was a separation, and a few weeks ago, you held a press conference where you accused JMB, who's been your friend all this time, well, a lot of things, calling him troublemaker, saying he took some of your people from ALP. Even if, because everybody has a right to shift alliances. You have a right, everybody does. You could have shifted alliance. Why did you see the need to come out with a press conference and people, and Ben said today, oh, JMB threw you under the bus, but people are also saying you equally threw JMB under the bus by calling that press conference when you could have easily, even if you didn't agree with what he did or how he did it, you could have easily gone on to support somebody or even say, okay, hey, I'm not a part of this alliance with you, JMB, anymore. I'm going my separate ways. Why was there a need for you to have that press conference? And wasn't that throwing him, your friend, under the bus?
No, not at all. The first thing, I did not have a press conference. That you are wrong. We had a program at our party's headquarters where we were certificating our candidates. And I had to address the issue. And I want you to know that my decision, to move away from JMB was not based on an selection of the vice president. In fact, I knew Jeremiah Coon way before Joe Buck heard his name. Jeremiah Coon is like a younger brother to me. We've known one another for many years. And one year is, Joe Buck is the emotion was done. Who he promised young men, you're a mayor vice president. You promised Emma Costa, you'll be vice president. Then you come and you pick someone who's in the opposition and bringing and making and vice president. And if I'm provoked, I would say why he did it, but I would leave that for another time. And let me tell you something. I don't owe no loyalty to Joe Boy or Unity Party. I did what I had to do because if I did, people wanted us to come together. Wanted the opposition to come together. And I'm under obligation to do what the Nigerian people want me to do. As a politician, no. I didn't want to be vice president. He was the one who was extremely close to Henry Costa, and he did his time. I was present, and I listened to some of the discussion with he and Henry Costa on the phone. And he can come out publicly and say he didn't promise Henry Costa he would make a vice president. No, he come out publicly and say he didn't promise young men. No. But that's his prerogative. But it's the manner in which you do it. Somebody cannot be your ally for 6 years. And you make the most important decision. And you don't inform him. One day before you make your announcement, you cry for the year and tell him, I'm selected. So we struggled for 6 years for that. But all we ask, let us be at the table when you're making your selection. So you won't make the mistake you have made. Who is a very good young man. But there's a causing the presidency. And a lot of time people would not accept it.
Thank you. So one more question. Only 2 questions.
True FM 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia. This station rules the nation. True FM 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia. Rules the nation. True FM 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia. This station rules the nation. True FM 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia. This station rules the nation. Truth FM 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia. This station rules the nation. Truth FM 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia.
On the map. Get set. Ready. Sally. And let's go. On board. The night train. On board. The morning hours. The true breakfast, folks. This is unbeatable. Truth FM. This station rules the nation. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the TV. It's great to be back. Indeed, God is the greatest. When you wake up in the morning, just look at your friend and say, neighbor, you are indeed blessed. Welcome to the TBS. All sacrifice and suffering is redemptive. It is either used to teach the individual or to help others. Nothing is by chance. Nothing comes easy. And I say nothing is by chance. Bobby Bleedy Addison, wise words. Good morning to the 15 counties. The love of liberty matters, yeah? And let justice be done to all. Not some, but all of us. Good morning, Nimba. Good morning, Lofa. Good morning, Bapulu. Reverend says, Great Kid, my counter. Good morning. Bommy, good morning. Bong, my give you good morning. Grandbassa, how is it this morning? River G, Sino, Grand Crew, Maryland, good morning. My name is Oni Roberts. This is MARKA Davis in the maze of law. Country voice for the 9 days. For the 9 days to elections. A lot of things will happen. You'll hear some screens saying, don't be surprised. We are in the political period. You'll hear some shocking news. If you are not understanding yourself, move to the other side. If things not working for you on this side, and so Jesus said, let's move to the other side. And so try to move on right now. Let me say good morning to you, Maka. Good morning. I think you had to see this. It's not clear. Good morning to you. How you doing this morning?
Yes, good morning. Good morning. And good morning to those following us this morning on the TBS here on Truth 96.1 FM. We're grateful again to be here to serve our Liberian people. And like someone said, this is a crucial period for our country and the media, our international partners, civil society organizations. All of us have to play a very major role in ensuring that we go through these electoral processes with intelligence and come out with flying colors. We can only do this to save the face of our country and ensure that we live in a peaceful environment. It's great to be here again this morning to serve our people. I know this week has been a little bit kind of tense week here at RCR. All of the attentions, have been on RCR for the past, at least from the beginning of the week. And today again, we will be having another presidential candidate here, and we are committed to doing this because we believe that this is the time, like people have said, the media should play a very crucial and critical role, a major role for that matter. So we here at RCR are committed to doing that. We will give this platform to all the people who will make themselves available and want to serve the Liberian people, whether in the capacity of representative, in the position of senator or president. Even the vice presidential candidates will give everyone the opportunity to come and explain to the Liberian people what exactly they have to offer, because it is not True FM that will be explaining to the Liberian people what can Mr. Cummings offer, what can Bwakai offer, what can President Weah offer, what can Gunglo and the rest of the candidate offer. what they have to do is we provide a platform. They come here and provide details or clarity on whatever they hope to provide for on the table for the Liberian people. And let me say, especially thanks to Mr. Musa Hassan Belete. I think, like his friend Snow would say, I think they have thick skin. They are strong. They have thick skin because
for me personally, I want to say Musa is the chairman of the week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a surprise call. I don't know. Normally, you don't ready to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a surprise call. Yeah.
And
but Musa is the chairman of the week.
Yeah, I want to appreciate him for that. Like we have said, I think this is just a testament to what we've said here consistently, that whatever we do on this radio, one, it is ethical and bystander. He doesn't interfere with what we do. So we bring him on board, all of these people. And yes, the chairman, he can throw some small.
That is what the political part
the political part of it.
So, two great things on yesterday. MARKA have a very beautiful lineup coming up. Two great things happened on Truth FM yesterday. Yesterday morning, we had Edison been in the comments, right? And then in the afternoon hours, we have the former Vice President Joseph Boyka, right? Then on the same Truth FM at 9 p.m. in the night, we have the ALP political leader, Honorable Benana Yuri.
Yeah.
We hope to play her voice again. Then while I interview her on another presidential candidate said no. But I'm enjoying it. Another presidential candidate is coming this morning. Yeah, he said no. All the people are talking are the rightful person. That the council. Okay. Yeah, let's see what we have for our lineup.
Yeah, so let me get there quickly. This morning on the TBS on Truth 96.1 FM, we have 49 days. So you're like, what did they running now?
I said we started from 300 for the 9 days. You didn't start hearing anything yet.
Yeah, so this morning, welcome to the TBS. What we have on a plate for breakfast this morning in our studio chat, we'll look at the smuggling of goods illegally at Liberian borders. So Liberian businesses are complaining. I think a new started this on yesterday.
Yeah.
We'll look at it briefly. We'll also continue with our non-violence message to our Liberian people, especially the young people, not to allow themselves to be used as tools to cause problem. Yes, most likely you will try to see if the CPP chairman can take our call.
This is a surprise call. Want
to try. But we finish exposing the thing already.
There's a secret pie. How? Yeah. No, but actually, you go on social media.
No secret on radio. You see, now you thought it name, man.
This is it, MARKA. Yesterday, that's how I know that. Look, you like it or not, Truth FM is Truth FM. This network have played a very important role.
Since 2005. Since 2005. It's not today thing.
Not today.
It's not a newcomer thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So the entire social media. So I'm gonna do a surprise call, but I feel announced it. But anyway, maybe the chairman is a political meeting. Well, that surprise call, he will still.
So coming out 8 to 8:30, we do this. This one is not up to the leader. We'll give you the opportunity to speak to the talking point this morning. That's exactly what we're going to do. Like we said yesterday, when I made a recommendation to the director of radio and programs, he accepted that. And we have briefly that is thing with Zanaka suspended traditional activities. We have briefly suspended leader, and we'll give you the opportunity to speak to
the issue we
discuss in our studio chat. That's exactly what we're going to do this morning.
Correct.
8:20 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9:05. We bring a team from Integrity Watch Liberia. They will be here with us this morning. They'll play a very important part in elections in the country. So we want to hear from them too. And I know you too want to hear from them. 9:15 to 10 o'clock this morning. Presidential hopeful Councillor Tiawan Gonglo of the LPP will be with us this morning to discuss his vision and other trending issues. We are going closer to the day for the 9 days to go. So we want to hear from the new things we want to hear. Yes. So in the midst of all country first. And this is what we have for the breakfast this morning. Do join us and have a wonderful breakfast.
Great. So let's place a surprise. Before we talk about it, this smuggling of goods at the Liberian border, the Ministry of Commerce should take note of this. But we want to play a surprise call to of the CPP, Honorable Musa Hassan Belete. This is a surprise call, right? My God, it's a surprise call. So, I hope the chairman is not in a political meeting, but this is a surprise call. I just want to acknowledge him this morning. This part, with all of the differences between, there's no secret. Those of you see all the comments on Facebook back and forth, Musa Ability and the Unity Party. Truth FM is Truth FM. Yesterday, the standard bearer of the Unity Party appeared on the same Truth FM. I just want to acknowledge Musa. This is the main reason I'm placing the. So I think I have the chairman of the CPP is a candidate also in Nimba County District 7, Musa Hassan Ability, live on the breakfast show this morning. Good morning to you. Great. Are you getting me? Okay. You in the county on Monrovia? But you in Nimba County, Musa Ability, you behave like you in Monserrado here. Great. So this call is to acknowledge you for the fact that despite all of the political fight is going back and forth, I've seen you and Darius Dillon back and forth, yet and still you are proving democracy, what democracy calls for. Truth FM still remains Truth FM. It's a knowledge call this morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll come into that. Let's put the politics into it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Chairman, since you on, yeah. Mhm. So, so Chairman, we have for the 9 days to election, all these things are happening. I mean, perhaps the opposition. Okay. Mhm. Okay, Chairman Bellet, let me ask you this. I'm seeing you and Darius Dillon going back to back. What is happening? He is chairman, he is campaign chair for Monserrato, and you not campaign chairman. You going back to back. He said he used all of his energy with you. Yeah. You have to adjust a little bit. We're struggling to hear you. Yeah, the network. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you ought to wait in Yansen. Okay, yeah, it's much better. Go ahead. Chairman. Let's see if we can give the call back. Yes, the network is actually holding on. So we're doing for 5 more minutes. Then we'll go.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's get big the chairman for 5 more minutes. Well, True FM, 20 minutes down, 8 o'clock. That's the voice of the chairman trying to call back.
Yeah, I think
Back to back. Yes. Let's see. We can get in. Let's see. We can get in. They'll put it to get nothing to say. You're saying that yeah, all the party they were leaving me camping chair and leave. Love you all. Okay.
even running make they
Running minute left
there's
you
better
put you
to
on.
be
There you
running
put your money. All right. Good thing. So we'll see if we can pick up Musa quickly. But actually, for the 9 days, Maka, a lot of things will happen.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Crucial alignment and realignment. Yeah.
Drop by drop.
Yeah.
So till you give understand, he move to go to the other side.
Move on the
Yeah,
other side.
yeah, you can understand, move to the other side. So it says
Oh, it can be.
I don't know what did I check me out. Hello? Yeah, okay. Yes. Chairability. Yeah, the line is so you went inside that part of Nimba. That's why I was struggling to hear you. Go ahead. But you're not campaign manager, you're Dylan's campaign manager. Why were you focused only on Musa ability instead of bringing strategy for the Unity Party? Okay. Okay. Chairman, yeah, as you close, thanks so much for coming through this morning, Chairman Musa Ability. All right. Yes. Look at that here.
Yeah.
Right. 96.1 the heart and soul of Liberia. So we're going to take a few calls over quickly with this goose being smuggled at the Liberian border. I'm just using 1 or 2 minutes, please. I'm calling on. This whole week will just remind the Ministry of Commerce. These Liberian businesses, they pay taxes to government. All right. But goose are being smuggled at the Liberian borders. The security team, the Ministry of Commerce, you don't say you're not aware. They meaning that anybody can come into this country with guns. And what will happen? What will you say? So I want to call upon you, please. The small businesses are crying. Goods are being smuggled into this country every day. All right. Let's get a few calls up on 0770-153-265.
0770-202-579 is the other number.
Let's talk to this issue, the one we're talking about today. Let's stick to it. Don't go further ahead. No talk to your leader segment until you lecture. Good morning. Good morning. No, instead of stand there, what will bend this calls? Probably you want to talk about Azana Cummings and parents yesterday, Joseph Boyka, and out of Bernard US last night. Desmond UJ, go ahead. Okay.
National Elections Commission. We at the level of the CP, we don't have with the National Elections Commission for the fact that the commission were all appointed by the president. The commission made a very good point, as he has always been making.
Okay. Close up. As you close up. 1 minute as you close up. Okay. 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 You're going to engage there. Yes. Let's do a minute per call, please.
Good morning.
Just to the issue.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Let me appreciate you a lot for giving opportunity this morning to be here on your station. On the issue yesterday, I listened to a Ghana company. It's for them to be a much employee. But it's not your right time to tell you that this election is not concerned as an company.
How can you say that?
They also go up mistake or let or come into power. Because if you make a fun
no, he didn't say that. Listen, hello. We say a mistake to name me as campaign chair for Unity Party because all Dylan's strength is just towards Musa instead of being campaign for the Unity Party. But Musa is not campaign chairman. Musa is not campaign chairman. Musa not chairman. Is chairman. Concentrate on the campaign.
Good morning. Go ahead quickly.
And officially, the voice of Africa
Honorable Joe Barker. I listened to Joe Barker yesterday, and when I got through listening to him, he only tells me that we have no other options as Nigerians than to elect this man as our next president. You listen to him. He spoke on a lot of issues. And then I'm listening to Honorable Musa Bility this morning. He's expressing how Honorable Joe Barker is ungrateful. Whenever he takes the airway, he then increases Madam Ellen. So, Honorable Musa Bility, if you pay me good, I pay you good. You pay me bad, I pay you bad.
Okay.
Who have served as a vice.
All right.
Good morning.
Go ahead, pay you go. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, when the newsmakers are, yeah, okay.
Good morning. Go ahead.
The voice of Samuel Sankara Johnson, and I speak to you this morning from Banga County, heading from Lufa County.
Banga.
I'm a national cabinet spokesperson of the National Union of Data Planners in Moniba. But let me say this, Marka, and I really appreciate the two of you and the UFF family for your level of independence on recent and even a time past. I think you have stood tall as the only media institution with that level of independence, especially at the conjunction of our democratic process. So I want to say kudos to the both of you. But my saying is that we have been monitoring and listening to almost all of the political actors. And that's why at the level of the National Union of Data Planners, we have consistently seen. You see the back and forth of individuals that have mounted that stage. That's at the stage of your studio. And they feel consistently to provide a new vision for Liberia's developmental agenda and the transformation of our country. And that's why we have to be able to transform our country. You cannot continue to be elected people that appear on the ballot in 2005. In 2011, in 2017, with the same agenda and the living condition of our people still remain the same. And that's why we are coming tomorrow to ensure that, and we hope that we will also be given the platform so that we will be able to expatiate and project the new Nigerian vision to the people. Again, I want to say thank you so much and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. We just take two calls. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Marka, and good morning to my good friend, Morning. I'm calling specifically from the office of Honorable Patrick Kumoya as our official campaign spokesperson. This morning, on behalf of the people of Mauritius fan, we want to appreciate his.
We are sticking to the topics. They're not speaking to a leader yet now. I hope you've been following this morning. Please. Please do so. Please do so.
Yeah, okay. So let me just lay on my thought. And even though I listened to the two candidates yesterday in studio, impressing of Honorable Joseph Yuma Borka and Mr. Alexander Cummings, who have to come from our own political party, ANC. Even though I'm not part of the CPP, but I'm a supporter of ANC. I have my membership of ANC, but I'm not part of the CPP originally. So I want to appreciate this. So she spoke well yesterday. He spoke lengthily, especially why we got my attention yesterday on the issue of the National Election Commission, the selection or appointment of these individuals only by the president. That's something that we have consistently talked about, and that's something that should be worrisome because, for example, you that appoint me, I'm obligated to you. But for any reason, the civil society were going to be involved, all the opposition were going to be involved with the selection or, yes, identification of qualified individual to be recommended to the president. Who gave a space for people to have credibility in the National Election Commission. But as things stand right now, we just have to do our best. We just have to do our best and see. I'm not saying that I'm for Joseph Barker or supporting Cummings as a president or supporting Georgia. But we as Nigerian people, if we think the country is good, Georgia is doing well, we'll vote for Georgia. If we think the country is not going good,
correct. Correct.
Vote for opposition candidate.
Correct.
Thank you, my young man. Thank you. That's the final.
The back. Okay, let's go one more. Ido is already in the studio. Let's take one more call. Last caller. This morning, this should be our last call from our end. Good morning. Morning. Which part of Nima are you calling from? Okay, Sakle Pierre, go ahead. Okay. All right. Just before you go quickly, True Reference, I guess we will cover the entire part of Nima County monitoring by radio, right? No, I've never been to Nimba. Yeah, I heard that.
When you come to MARKA, you give you
No, let me cut the day I come to Nimba. I've never been to Nimba. It's a sad thing.
You can start GB now.
Yeah. But as we close out and link up with the targeted watch, because you're in there, let me just say this. This country, election is just an event. Look, we move. Some of you have your personal thing, and look, we him or no, and we're trying our possible best. We're not even 95%. And you should tell us thank you. Because I'm getting some crazy messages, and myself too, at least a former candidate, right? I got some. I have some thick skin. Yes, we all humans. Look, we give the platform. You want to be president? We give you the platform. When you come on the platform, you tell Liberians why you want to be president, your vision for the country. That's how I want to do it. After this election, all this one more talk show you see, they'll be gone. It will stay with me as a journalist. So your personal feelings, only small. And you should comment us. There's some other network you can't even call. You can call. You can text. If George will be president for the second time, so be it. They're the Liberian people decision. Where Zenon Cummins or Boyka, Tewan Gongolo, and the rest of these, Monuba, all of them, or Sarah Basola. Sarah Basola Yeti. Yeah. If that's what Liberian people will vote for, so be it. The Elections Commission should do all the duty and give us the result. From there, we move. You're keeping all of feeling. Yeah, radio or battery, your comment. That's good. Anyway, so we have Integrity Rash. Yeah, I love to interview Integrity. Yes, Mr. Idu. Yes, Mr. Idu is live with us this morning. Let's see if we can get it captured on the camera. It was the first segment, number 950. Another presidential football. Thanks to the guys at Maggie B. Radio Maggie B also turned us live. Big FM. Ghana's good. Yes, you have the face of the Liberians.
Well, let me say good morning to you, O'Neill. Good morning to you, MARKA, and good morning to all our listeners listening to this wonderful radio station. It's a pleasure to join you this morning.
Yes, at least you're cooling the tempo down a little
Certainly, I can see it's a political season now, you know. Yeah, the tempo is really hot. Yeah, understandably so.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of adjustment going on in there. I just received a text. Another Johnson said, "Can I send you a soft drink? Which is a soft drink you take? My son need to cool your test." MARKA can drink Fanta. I want Sprite. Yeah, you feeling your bash. Yes, just introduce yourself for us.
Well, so O'Neill, my name is Harold Edu, and I'm the executive director and founder of Integrity Watch Liberia. So we are a technology-driven civil society organization. And what do I mean by that? So we are a non-for-profit organization that work on three main areas. We work on issues around fiscal transparency and budget. We work on electoral integrity and democracy. And then we also work on natural resource governance with emphasis on taxation. So our work around fiscal transparency mainly look at how we can promote transparency and accountability in the way the national budget is formulated, how we can get citizens to participate in the budget formulation process, that is soliciting inputs from the citizens to inform the budget, and how we can also track the expenditure of the budget. We also do what we call shadow budget option paper, where we inform the budget by producing citizens' budget that helps the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning to also gauge what the citizens are saying in terms of their own priorities. For the first time in last year, we were able to work with the Ministry of Finance to develop the shadow budget option paper that came out with 20 recommendations, out of which the government accepted 6 of the recommendations. It has never happened before. So as an organization, we do a lot of work around taxes, making sure that within the natural resource sector, we are able to optimize domestic resource mobilization. So we're looking at issues around the fiscal regime, many of the contracts that we are signing with multinational corporations, how these contracts are formulated, whether the contracts ultimately will benefit us. So far, we've done 2 concession agreements, which we can talk about it at length, maybe subsequently.
Okay, so let's go back. I know you already started to talk about some major progress. So someone's listening up. We'll say,
Yeah, so we are a technology-driven civil society organization, which means that we promote governance, democracy, transparency, and accountability using technology. Evidence of that, we've been able to support the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, which is the LACC. We've developed an application called Talkie. So Talkie now is an app that
is it Talkie?
Talkie, Talky, reported, like going Talkie.
What are you talking about?
So Talkie is an application, that is, you can find it on Play Store, you can find it on Apple Store, you can download it and you can use it to report corruption anywhere. So, for example, you work in an office, you're in the RCI, and corruption is going on, you can use your Talkie to report it. You can send video evidence of your report, photo evidence of your report, actually also audio evidence of your report. Recently, we were at the LACC looking at the progress we've made and looking at some of the reports that have come. And it was interesting to see ordinary people, for example, doing video of some officials at some of these ports, entry ports, and some of these checkpoints, receiving bribes, and reporting these things. So it was really, really fascinating to see ordinary people using Talkie to report corruption in different parts of the country, coming from as far as Grand Crew, Lofa, and other places reporting corruption. So we're using technology to see how citizens can leverage on the use of these new innovations we have in the world now to make sure that governance is improved, to improve transparency, and also to make sure that our government ultimately becomes accountable in the way they deal with the citizens. So that is who we are as an organization that promotes governance, good governance, that promotes transparency and accountability, all using technology. So that is integrity in short. And again, we also leverage it on this same technology to contribute to this coming election. And that is principally why we are here today, to discuss our contribution to the 2024 legislative and presidential elections, entering from the prism of what we call campaign finance regulation monitoring, to see how political parties and candidates are complying with the National Elections Commission campaign financing regulation. So it's also hinged on the backdrop that sometime in March, we did sign a memorandum of understanding, an MOU with NEC. NEC, which is the National Elections Commission, is a statutory body to regulate elections, make sure that everybody is playing by the rules of the game. And given the fact that we also understand NEC's own capacity constraints, resource-wise, human capacity rise, and so forth, we approached NEC and said, look, this is who we are. We are a civil society organization. We have a lot of capacity in developing all kinds of digital tools and innovative tools, so we can support the NEC. We have capacity in the area of fiscal transparency, and therefore we can support you to track political party campaign financing, to see how all the parties, how all the actors that you qualify to run for elections, whether they are running for a representative seat, senatorial seat, or presidential, different kinds of elections, how we can use these technology tools to monitor compliance. Because the challenge often has been that because of resource constraints, NEC doesn't have the capacity to deploy people to make sure that all these actors, candidates, are complying with NEC campaign financing regulation. So we did sign an MOU with NEC, and that MOU, among a number of things, is to build the capacity of all these political parties, is to develop and deploy these tools that we are talking about. So, for example, you, O'Neill, can use that tool to report when you see there are different stipulations in the campaign financing regulations in terms of what political parties can do, what they cannot do when it comes to political party financing. Again, maybe we'll step back a little bit to explain what do we mean by party finance.
Yes. Let's go build that bit, because you actually, she's saying with this issue, I'm trying to get key interest with the campaign financing. Someone's listening now. Let's talk about campaign financing. What is it?
So, all political parties, whether you are independent or once you are vying for political office, you need resources to campaign. to print T-shirts, to come on the radio, to air your messaging. So to put it in a simple term, the campaign financing is the resources that you generate or you mobilize, or how you mobilize that resources or that money, because some of the resources can be in kind, some of them can be in cash. How you raise this money, whether in cash or in kind, and how you spend it. Again, it's also from the wisdom. It's also hinged. It comes from the backdrop that how do we make sure that if we all here are contesting for one political office, how do we create a level playing field so that one party or one person who is heavily endowed has so much money does not use that money to influence the outcome of the election. So therefore, the National Elections Commission's campaign financing regulation, it comes from the backdrop that we need to create a level playing field so that one party does not overly use money to.
Does that set a benchmark? Does that set a benchmark for? Does that set a benchmark for an amount that a particular party or candidate is supposed to use during the process of campaigning?
That sets a benchmark for everybody. So this is rooted in the Constitution. Okay. And then the 1986 elections law, particularly Section 7.3, in Article 9.1 of the campaign finance expenses set benchmarks or limitations in terms of how much one candidate, whether depending on which level of elections you are running for, whether you are running for representative seats, presidential, vice presidential, or senatorial, office. It sets different sets of benchmarks in terms of how much you can spend as a party or as a candidate, when it comes to the election. So we will go into the details in terms of how much all these different categories of candidates can spend. But ultimately, the wisdom behind it or the goal behind it is to make sure that people don't use, cash violence to manipulate and to influence the outcome of election. Because the essence of election is to have people to compete with ideas, and the man or woman who has the best ideas and the best policies to inform and to improve the livelihoods of our citizenry, people can be elected. So it should not be on the basis of how much money you have as a person or as an individual or an institution, so that you don't overly use that leverage to dominate everybody. So the campaign financing regulation sets more or less a framework for a level playing field. And we believe that once you have a level playing field, it also contributes to making sure that the outcome of the election ultimately becomes peaceful and transparent and credible. Because if one candidate is overly spending, maybe let's assume that somebody receives 30 million US dollars from somewhere else, and they decide to infuse 30 million US dollars in the election. That is not no small money. Right, they're buying T-shirts, they're buying rice. They're doing all sorts of things to induce, the population. Definitely, is going to have a significant impact on the outcome of election. Given the level of poverty and the level of gullibility within our society, people are going to rush for that money. They are going to rush to, this one particular candidate or one individual who has so much resources, and so therefore the campaign financing regulation is there to regulate in terms of how much you can spend, how much you can raise, and so forth. And there are also reporting mechanisms along that lines.
Okay, so that policy is great. Listening to I listened to several activities you've been doing along with the NEC on that particular campaign financing stuff. But looking at its implementation, or for parties to fully adhere to that regulation. Looking at next Unke Parcel, what role are you playing in helping the commission to ensure that people don't violate that regulation?
So we are playing, multiple roles. So I'll take you step by step in terms of the actual specifics that we are doing. So we are beginning by first and foremost raising awareness, among the population, so that we know that there is a law, there is a regulation that governs how political parties can raise money and how they can spend money. And how they need to report, whatever money that they raise and the sources of these resources that they mobilize. So we're raising awareness so that political parties and actors, citizens in general, and stakeholders will be knowledgeable of these regulations. Beyond that, we also working with the political parties themselves. So far, we've been able to train well over 30 persons from all the political parties. Where we did that training was a huge training that we working with a team of lawyers, that we working as part of this project to train the political parties, because it's always easy to point fingers. Oh yeah, you're wrong, you're not doing this. So before we begin the whole monitoring exercise, we felt it was important to let political parties know what the law says, what are these regulations, how they can comply, how they can report, the different reporting mechanisms that are there within the campaign financing regulation law, so that they are also knowledgeable of that. We've completed the first phase of this training. As a matter of fact, we've completed a process where we will have radio jingles on all the radio stations, including yours and some other radio stations, and in the counties on campaign financing, using jingles in simple library English to enable the population to have a very clear understanding of what the law says and the different limitations and the provisions of the law. We've completed that. We've also recruited a number of monitors. So when I say monitors, we're working with journalists and civil society actors across the 15 political subdivision. We've completed that training where we've now deployed, and as we speak, by the end of this week, these journalists that we've recruited from all the 15 political subdivisions are going to begin work. So how are they going to work? We've developed a very, detailed methodic process in terms of how these monitors are going to be tracking the campaign financing, regulations. It's not an easy task because, we have a society where transparency with information is really, really a challenge, where most political parties are financed by individual pockets and so forth. But we've also developed a list of indicators.
So that makes it even a little bit difficult to ascertain clearly the expenses or the expenditure of these parties.
Precisely.
Is that what you are saying?
Precisely. But then there are other means through which we can also identify how these are spending, because some of them are things that are visible. So, for example, the law says that at the level of the presidents, you cannot spend more than $2 million US. So if we see during the campaign period, you printed, let's say, 2 million T-shirts, hypothetically, right? And the cost of the T-shirt costs $2 per T-shirt, and you print 2 million T-shirts.
That means you are going to bond.
That means that you're already within the threshold, right? So we're looking at if you you bought 10 vehicles, 20 vehicles, 20 pickups, 30 pickups, and the cost of the pickups within the campaign period costs $35,000. So there are some of the things that are quite visible. The amount of billboards, we know the cost of billboards and how much it costs to mount these massive billboards that we've seen all around here. So there are several indicators that we have to be able to determine, to quantify the value of these expenses that are being made. Again,
are there penalties for people who violate the guidelines?
Oh, yes. Within the regulation, there are penalties. And maybe as we go further into the discussion, we're going to outline some of the penalties that the NEC has, put in place to make sure that they whip political parties and candidates in line.
So Integrity Watch has been involved with these electoral processes, even from the voter registration up to war, even if not directly, but you've been observing some of the activities. What is your level of confidence when it comes to adherence to this policy?
Well, I would say there is a challenge with not just one political parties, but all the political actors, those vying for the various political seats, from representative, senatorial, and the presidency. We've also documented multiple violations of different campaign, laws from the very beginning. But again, there is also comes back to the issue about the regulations and the laws that we have. Some of our laws there are gray areas that needs to be strengthened or enhanced. Even the very political party campaign financing regulations, from a civil society standpoint of view, and our own independent analysis of the regulations, we do understand that there are still weaknesses within the law and the enforceability of the regulations. So we also need to be able to put things a little bit into context, because some of these laws were written many years ago, and it needs to be able to reflect contemporary reality. Because if you, 20 years ago or 10 years ago, our population wasn't 5 point something million. Today, now we're talking about our population has exceeded 5 million. The economic situation has changed, right? The variables and the dynamics compared today and 10 years ago are not the same. So therefore, our laws also needs to be in consonance with the modern realities. That said, the law is a law. And for us as civil society organization, until the law is amended and reformed to meet, the current context, we will be, our role and our responsibility is to make sure that every political actor who is contesting this election plays by the rules and what the law says. And so therefore, we are working with the NEC, and I said we've deployed monitors who are going to be using really innovative tools, digital platforms to track the different indicators we've developed in light with campaign finance and adherence, so that we can report. The way our methodology works is that we are setting up large screen televisions at the National Elections Commission, which I'm sure we're going to have an elaborate media engagement where all of you will be able to report. And so all these monitors are going to be using smartphones. And then on these smartphones, they are reporting templates on the smartphone. So as they track this data, the data will be coming in near real time. So on this large screen television, so you can actually sit at NEC and you can see across the country, looking at Liberian map, well, who is violating, who is in compliance, and so forth. The essence is to give NEC the opportunity, using this data, independently verifiable data coming from across the country, to be able to, put some checks and balance and make sure that political parties and candidates who are contesting, whether independent or so forth, are complying with this regulation. Because, like we said, NEC has a mandate to ensure compliance. We as civil society can only monitor and report the violations that are taking place, so that they can use this data to make sure those who are in violations comply with this regulation and institute measures where necessary to make sure that people actually do come into compliance.
Okay, so considering your road, let's look at some of the accomplishments so far, and also look at challenges. And I know you are hitting a target of success, but let's look at what you have accomplished and what could maybe shorten some of your chances of sustaining what you want to do.
So we could look at accomplishment from a broader spectrum as an organization in terms of what we've been able to achieve within a 2-year lifespan since we became operational.
Okay.
So there are a number of accomplishments that we can beat our chest and say that we've been able to. So one of which is I earlier mentioned that for the first time ever, we've been able to develop a very massive digital platform that now is being in use for the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, where they've also been able to deploy monitors. Now citizens are reporting corruption across the country. The next step is perhaps maybe making sure that the LACC is able to use this data to promote, get people to prosecute and also reduce the level of corruption within our society. So that's one major achievement. Our second major achievement, if you may, we were able to lead a civil society advocacy effort that led to the passage of the revenue sharing law. So Chapter 4 of the Local Government Act talks about setting in motion local government structures such as the county council, and then also formulating a revenue sharing law that will now address the issue about the heavily centralized form of governance that we have, to make sure that local government administration have the resources they need to be able to do their work. So we were able to champion the passage of that law last year. We, through multiple engagements with the legislature, we also have been able to establish within the legislature what we call a bipartisan legislative caucus on illicit financial flow and taxation, which has been chaired by River G Representative Francis Dopo. So as a result of that work we've done with the legislature, last year we were able to, when the two concession agreements, particularly the ArcelorMittal third amendment and then the Biochemical concession agreement was submitted, we were able to work with the Columbia University. There is a center there called Columbia Center on Sustainable Investment to review these, very voluminous concession agreement, and we issued two reflex, documents. And those reflex, one of which led to the legislature asking the executive to renegotiate that ArcelorMittal agreement. So as an organization, within 2 years, we've done quite a lot in terms of building capacity of the legislature, building capacity on civil society. We've been able to develop a shadow budget option paper last year for the first time, having 6 of those recommendations accepted by the government, which is a monumental achievement. Okay. We've been able to...
How many of the recommendations? 6?
Yeah, 6 out of the 20 recommendations were accepted by the government. So, we're doing a lot in terms of promoting fiscal transparency. Yet we have a long way to go, but to be able to...
let's look at some of the major issues that are hindering or that may hinder some of your progress you're making.
Well, there will always be challenges. I think one of which is, actually the acceleration of the policy reforms. Okay. So even though we're able to get the revenue sharing law passed, we're still yet to see the law being fully implemented. Because there's one thing having the law passed into law and signed by the president, and then the implementation. We've seen, working with internal affairs, we've seen significant improvement. Again, we've been just about the last month, we were able to support the Ministry of Internal Affairs to develop what we call a regulation for the county council. What we hope is that we had hoped that the 2024 budget would have seen the piloting of that law. But again, given the elections, what we see that most of the planning around the election, not knowing how the election outcome will be, we see most of the costing that the government is going to be putting in place will be looking at recurrent expenditure, hoping that whoever wins the next election perhaps will come up with their own, set their own new agenda for their development priorities. So there are challenges. The key among those challenges is the acceleration of these reforms. We want to see things moving faster, but that is also out of our hands. We can only advocate to make sure that our government accelerates development, government accelerates most of these things that they are doing, making sure that we have medicines at the hospitals, not just passing the budget. We were just having a conversation with us tracking the budget expenditure, particularly on health, and we realized that most of the money the government says that they have, paid to many of these health facilities, we're not actually reaching to these health facilities. And so we're having a conversation to have a system where we can actually identify where the money is going and who this money is going to. So there are a lot of challenges in terms of the slowness, right, of some of these policy reforms. And we really want to see an acceleration of these reforms. So these are some of the challenges. But beyond that, as an organization, I think, in our own small way, we are able to source the resources we need to do our work. So I wouldn't really want to point to issue about resources being a challenge, because that is a general thing. There's never adequate.
Who are some of your biggest donors?
We have the UNDP being one of our biggest donors. We have the Norwegian Agency for International Development, NORAD. They are at the moment supporting us for a 3-year grant. We have the UN Women. We are fortunate to be receiving grants also from the USAID through the CSA project. So we have quite a number of donors, the National Endowment for Democracy, who is also supporting our fiscal transparency program. So we are fortunate as an organization within 2 years to have well over 6-7 donors supporting our different interventions that we are running as an organization. So we are grateful.
Wow. Okay, that is great. So finally, just before we can take a couple of calls on the show this morning, you are working along with the National Elections Commission. Let's look at your level of confidence in delivering in the National Elections Commission, in delivering a free, fair, transparent, and credible election. One of the key participants in the election yesterday said his confidence level is low. That was coming on this platform yesterday when he said his confidence level is low because he believes that the commissioners were single-handedly appointed by the president, though it's the president's right to appoint.
Well, I think normally when we make these kinds of sweeping allegations, it's good to bring evidence to the table. I must agree that the way that is historically how the board members of the commissions have been appointed. There are issues with it which needs to be looked at. There are fundamental issues with the way the NEC itself is financed, right? Which we think that we as an organization believe that we need to move to a stage where NEC becomes autonomous financially. so that they are not constrained by resources. That is a challenge. But that said, from us as an independent group, so far, we believe that irrespective of all the financial hurdles that the NEC is has been confronted with, they've performed creditably well, despite the challenges. So I will want to see those pieces of evidences that these different political actors are pointing to, for which they say that the NEC is not credible. I know that often when you have the president being the sole appointing power of all the board of commissioners, it raises issues around trust, and so that is a legitimate concern. And I think a concern which I think many people, including most of us in society, hold. But I think that beyond those concerns, we also want to look at the evidences and see how these people have performed so far. Have they performed in ways that put their credibility in question? I would say so far we haven't seen enough evidence. There is not enough evidence to show that the NEC is not going to deliver creditably. So we want to hold all things constant. I think so far they've done well despite the huge challenges, resource constraints that we all are knowledgeable of. So let's see how the outcome of the election. We believe that the NEC is going to live up to expectations. So let's keep fingers crossed.
Hera Edu is the Executive Director of Integrity Watch Liberia. He's our guest on the TBS this morning on Truth 96.1 FM. Let's take just a couple of calls this morning. Any other information, he will bring it out in his closing comments. 0770-202-579. 0770-202-579 is the number to call this morning on the show to participate. Like I said, we have Mr. Hera Edu here this morning, the Executive Director of Integrity Watch Liberia, some key role in the electoral process, helping in their own way the National Elections Commission, political actors in these processes, to ensure that we deliver a credible process. Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead, sir. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have to do it for the National Elections Commission. We have to improve the number of presidential, senator, and representative. But when they can fall short, is not in front of government. I know how much was generated from this legislation as a candidate. So they are saying what against me. They need to monitor campaign financing of political parties. So because it's so too, so I would just really follow it to him whether he should consider that. So they will be to consider that because there's no right with the material. So that should be what it tells us for the and it was why we generate the money. The number of candidates, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Let's take this caller. Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead. Go ahead. Please be audible, please. Go ahead. You are in a noisy place. I don't know. Yes, go ahead quickly, please. Okay. Okay. You got that. The background is bad. So I will take two more calls. 0770-202-579 to this one this morning. Good morning. Yeah, please stay away from the noise, please.
Yeah. Good morning, Jeremina.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Good morning, caller.
Yeah, my name is Cyrus Pio. I call from Nimba. Sacrifice this morning.
Okay.
I say thank you for your invitation. The welfare is informing people in Nimba and also this country. And we say bravo to the studio guests. I want to find out whether they are organization will be decentralized in the counties. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just one more, 0770 202579 is the number you can call. Mr. Era Ado is taking note of your concerns and will address them appropriately. 0770 202579. So let me just take the final caller. Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. Go ahead. You're live. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the line also not too. Good morning. Okay, so Mr. Edu, you listen to the callers. Some want to know other
Yes.
information. So I hope you took.
I think yes, I did. I did take notes.
Okay.
So I think to let me respond. I think there are just basically three questions that came up, and the first one is, who is the producer or the developer of the application? So yes, caller, for your information, so Integrity Watch is the developer of the application, and the security of the application is solely the responsibility of Integrity Watch, and does not rest with any of the government entities that we are supporting. That addresses that. And then if the app can be manipulated, so in a way, no.
Mm-hmm.
So the application cannot be manipulated because the application is developed by independent body and is being managed by independent body. So no one from within government or any particular government ministry or agency has access to the back end of the application or the algorithms that were used to develop the application to manipulate it. So the response is a big no.
Okay.
And if our organization is decentralized, I just said that in my narrative that we have already deployed 15. Across the 15 counties, we've deployed monitors. Most of these monitors are coming from journalists. So we work with, civil society council, and then we drew our monitors from journalists across the 15 counties that we brought together and trained them and deployed them. So we have people working in all the 15 political subdivisions.
Okay. Yeah. So, any information left out you want to tell the public in your closing at least 1 minute?
Well, I think we are in an elective, season. I know that the stakes are really high because the outcome of this election will also chart the new direction in terms of where we go as a country. So a lot is at stake. But what we want to say as a civil society organization is that we want to encourage all political actors to be able to operate and exhibit their actions in a way that will bring peace at the end of the election, because beyond the election, Liberia will still have to exist. So we'd like to caution all leaders to exercise leadership. We've heard quite some really, really dangerous rhetorics in the past weeks, and we think that is not really good for our election and our democracy. We would like to appeal to our leaders to tone their voice and their rhetorics down a little bit. We know the stakes are high, but beyond that, we need to make sure that our messaging needs to be able to be clear so that our citizens can make decisions on the basis of our policies and not the rhetorics. So we also want to say a big thank you to UNDP, the election program and elections fund, which is being supported by multiple donors for supporting this engagement, and also for the National Elections Commission for trusting us to support them in this endeavor. We hope that the outcome of this whole campaign financing monitoring engagement will lead to adequate data that will help the NEC to be able to make decisions as far as campaign financing regulation is concerned. So again, thank you so much for having me, and thank you to the listeners for paying key attention to the conversation.
Okay, thank you so much for coming. We hope to do this as we go through the electoral process, because it is important that we give key information about the elections to our people. Mr. Hera is the executive director of Integrity Watch Liberia. He's been our first segment guest here this morning. We're taking a break. We'll come back. We expect the presidential candidate of the Liberian People's Party, Councillor Tiawan Congo. Let's take a break and be right back. This is the TBS on Truth 96.1 FM.
Hey, announcement again. Just listen.
More light at home, more possibilities for greatness. Orange Energy is a light or solution to all life problems. Inspired by the sun and changing life. Starting today, why not have a little more fun? Why not use money this easily? Why not get even closer to family? Why not work how you've always wanted?
If we knew there's only weather, we know time will make a way. Oh no, even when it's like, we gon' make it right. And when we lose our way, no one save the day.
Yeah, so yeah, I know a lot of people love this song. It's a song of unity. It's a song to keep the nation together. But let's have just a bit. We're trying to get a council a broom appropriately captured on the camera. Once we do so, we join the team in Studio B.
Mm-hmm. If we need all of this sour, with no giant by our side, baby, we won't be together. From now till the end of the day, if we do us so make back, we know job will take away. And even when we fight, we gon' make it.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's go to Studio B, where Oni Rabos is seated along with our guest this morning. Oni?
Yes, again, I'd like to say thank you so much,
Are
Mark.
we
Again,
there?
good morning, welcome to the True Breakfast Show. Those of
OPS
you,
and the sweeper.
yes, I'm with the sweeper.
Let's join
Yes,
OPS and
yes. So you're struggling
and
to.
the
We're
sweeper
actually
this
struggling
morning.
to hear
Councillor
you.
Yawan Gonglo. Yes, usual library made suit red, white, and blue. The brown as usual. So yes. So we just waiting a little bit. We'll cross over
Yes.
to you shortly as we move. When you we move?
Yes, we'll move. Yeah, I think I can get you. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
But
we move.
as we go along,
Yeah.
trust me, the technical guys will try to make things possible to see if the presidential hopeful council telling what needs to hear you. So just before that, I would like to display this on the television, and those of you listening, to this live interview. I received this as a gift. Yes, this is a very beautiful gift, and I would like to call her name Mother Alice Bryant. Brought this for me and presented it. This is, this is the number thing I see always in the morning, Maka. The love of liberty brought us here. So she said that's a farewell part, and thanks for being neutral in the process. I was like, say what? She said, yes. Thanks for bringing all of the presidential hopeful on the True Breakfast Show. Thank you so much. I don't have diamond, I don't have silver, I don't have gold. But when you place this in your home, you think about Mother Bryant giving this as a gift to you for all what you do for country. Like you always say, in the midst of our country friends. I'd like to say thank you so much. Well, we have in studio this morning.
But let me join you in telling you
Okay.
thank you too. You know, this is great. It's good for people to recognize the good things that people do for the country. Journalists, like teachers, do thankless job. They don't really get paid for what they do in Liberia. But on CNN, all of big radio,
let's leave it in Liberia.
They make a lot of money. But in Liberia, you don't make money for the service, for the services that you give to the nation. You know, educating, entertaining. Some people listen to radio and if they are so angry, they calm down. So the journalists do, especially those who do radio and TV, do very well for our country. You're helping to ease the tension. You open up debates so that it's better for people to discuss, to reduce the tension so that you don't fight. So I like what she did.
Yes.
And the gift she gave you is not a nectar or golden ring or something. She gave you something Liberian.
Yes.
That will make you remember Liberia. That's what I do. Look at my broom.
Imagine you holding this as a president.
Yeah.
Imagine I'm with President Telling Gongolo.
But what she's doing, what she did is what I promote. You see, the broom I have is made from the palm tree, Liberian palm tree, which is represented right here.
Okay.
All right. And the coconut and all of that. So everything I do is Liberian. The clothes I'm wearing,
Liberian made.
The cotton came from Lofa County.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, Lofa.
Yeah.
You're a Nima man, you go to Lofa County.
Yes, we want to encourage people who are working hard to project our image. And this is self-reliance.
Okay.
Yeah. We need, when I become president, we'll promote cotton farms and producing our own Liberian thing.
Very
so
well.
Liberian broom.
Okay.
It's all
I thought you
about-
bought this broom from Sarah Lowe.
No, it's all about Liberia. I carry this to State Department. I carry it everywhere.
Yeah, the America.
Yes.
All right. It's interesting we start down the interview like this, but it's great to have folks. Again, this is Truth FM. In case you don't know, this is the station that rules the nation. It's a pleasure to have those who want to lead this country, those who want to be president for us. It's good that you bring them on. Let's hear from them. Let Liberian people make the decision. It's great to have in studio this morning the face of the Liberian People Party, LPP. Next week, trust me, I'll have Dr. Tokman Nantipote. He has asked me for a one-on-one interview. Definitely.
That's the father of the party.
The father of the party. Dr. Tipote have a call for that. So we have Councillor Telon Gongolo live with us, on air with us this morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much. It is always a pleasure to be here because you're a very good interviewer, you and your colleague. So you get a lot out of me, even if I don't want to give it.
Yeah.
So thank you for inviting me.
How's the campaign since August 5, Elections Commission, the House open out national campaign? How is it going?
First, let me tell you, my campaign has been growing in strength, from strength to strength, gradually. I was the underdog, and I think I'm getting closer to being part of the normal dogs up there. And let me thank the people of Nimba. Over the weekend, they really show
in Nimba,
in Ganta, the biggest crowd ever.
You boasting of crowd?
I'm just
in
saying,
Nimba.
I'm just saying in Nimba.
In Nimba.
When you are, it is the tradition of the Nimba people to receive their children on the company away.
Okay.
Then when we used to go on vacation, by the time they hear you are in town, everybody come embracing you. This show that Nimba people came to the border between Nimba and Bon County by land. Elders led by Chief, the doyen of the chiefs in Nimba County, Chief Franklin Toy, led a group of chiefs and elders at the border to give me a white collar nut. Son, we are receiving you. And from Baila all the way to Ganta, the crowd, we passed through Pain. I'm from Nimba, the presidential candidates don't.
Was it on a Friday or Saturday?
On Saturday.
On Saturday.
On Saturday.
A huge crowd.
That
But you don't have money. I mean, why are people going around with you?
I told you before on this show that this election will be about message and track record. We will defeat the money. Money will not be money and bags or rising.
I'm not saying your billboard. I'm not saying flyer for you.
You know, let me tell you something. There are a few flyers around. But you know, I've observed elections around. I like to talk about Atta Mills. I'm the Atta Mills in this.
John
election.
Atta Mills in
Yes, yes. When John Atta Mills ran in 2008, I was an election observer for Carter Center. And let me tell you, Nana was a candidate for the ruling party.
Nana
Addo had big billboards. I mean, covering a whole side of a billion and all that. But the people put him down. I asked the ordinary people, I rode taxi 5 times that night. Who will win? They say, Atta Mills. I said, but I don't see his billboard. They say, that billboard will eat. We know who will vote for now. Petrol price going up. People vote about things that are affecting them currently. So the prices are going up. These people are making us to suffer. We are not going to put the ruling party back in power. The same thing is happening in Liberia.
Let's go. Let's go. I want to coordinate this interview. So when Telon leaves for that's all is okay.
So what I tell people is,
if people don't see your billboard out there, shouldn't worry.
What I tell people, we are sending flyers out. What I tell people is, at least we know who not to vote for.
Okay.
The people with the big billboards.
Don't vote for them.
When they know who not to vote for.
What's your vision for Liberia? I mean, let's look at Telon Gongolo. Telon wants to be president of Liberia. Your vision,
that one, I've said it to Liberian people in 330 towns I've gone to. So I can say almost the recitation. There are 4 major things I want to do for the people of Liberia. But first, the first thing on my agenda is rule of law. No nation, no community can thrive without rule of law that are enforced, that are implemented. It sets the atmosphere. If like people are not safe in Liberia and they hear about auditors being killed and police not being effective, and they hear about drugs and all of that in the country, nobody wants to come and invest. So I will make sure there's no candidate in this race that have any credential compared to me on the question of rule of law. We'll make sure that rule of law is adhered to. Adherence to rule of law will be number 1, and that will set the frame for framework for social economic development. I have Gonglo 12 count prescription for combating corruption.
Okay.
I'm not just saying zero tolerance for corruption.
Gonglo what?
12 count
Okay.
prescription for combating corruption that begins with openness. Look, that the president, the vice president, the heads of the three branches of government, all the big shots in government, including civil servant salary, would be on the internet. And I challenge all the presidential candidates in this race. I say, okay, we'll talk about collaboration. Let's agree on this, that the president's salary and benefit should be on the internet and in the major newspaper and in simple English, simply because we are employees of the people. How can they not know how much they are paying us? That's the beginning. And why is that important? Because if I appoint O'Neill, Minister of Information, and his annual salary is not even 50,000, and in 3 weeks start building a $200,000 house, everybody in the community will know he's stealing because they will look on their phone and will know his salary and benefits. We need to do that because exposure, naming and shaming is the first penalty that corrupt people get. Naming and shaming. Okay. Everybody want good name. When they start calling you a road, you were passing around and people call you road, it will demean some people. Then we'll make sure in the first 100 days, I'll issue an executive order that any minister or official of government that interferes with police operation, that stop police operation in any way, or interferes with the judiciary will be dismissed immediately. Because law enforcement and law interpretation are the two key elements of upholding rule of law. Okay. And I work in those areas and make sure that there's order. And that will make investors come and say, oh, there's change in Liberia. When you go to Liberia, police will issue ticket to a minister. The same ticket that the police will issue to a janitor, police will issue to a minister. So everybody under the law, under the rule of law. We need to have everybody under the rule of law without exception. Not even the president.
In your 100 days.
Yes, we'll do that. Because that will set the framework. People will know that we will have effective rule of law, other things. What we have 4 cardinal social services that I want to be president for. 1, education. No nation develops without education. China, America, Malaysia, Singapore, in Africa, Botswana, Rwanda, South Africa, all of the countries that are making progress, Ivory Coast, education number 1. Okay. So, but many of our people are poor. So we make education from kindergarten to 12th grade will be totally free with government providing. In your government? In my government. I'm giving you clear.
Listen, it's good that our leaders come and explain what they want to do for the country.
I want to give clear promises that I will be George back. I think we should do that. So, copybooks, pencils, pens, the food the children eat in school, their textbooks, the book they read, all will be provided by government, free of charge. Okay. We will expose the Liberian children to all sports that are played anywhere in the world, so that our children can go to Olympics too. And not only football, basketball, kickball, that only Liberian game. We will do that. Comprehensive youth empowerment, education, sports, and entertainment will encourage. In fact, government will invest into building a theater for performing arts. Music, drama. We need to have our own Hollywood and all of that here. And the young people are talented, so we'll do that to give space for them to expose themselves. Then the next thing is technical and vocational school. O'Neill, this country is lacking in technicians. We have plenty of college graduates, but we don't have many mechanics. We don't have many carpenters. We don't have many electricians.
And the population is increasing.
And the population is increasing. And these services are needed. So you have Ghanaians, Guineans, and all these people coming here. Their countries have trained the young people. They know that you need college education, but you need somewhere for even high school dropouts to go and learn carpentry and the different things. And they are the ones that run any economy. Any economy that does not have the technicians cannot thrive. You know, so we'll do that. It'll be free technical and vocational schools. Government will foot that to make sure so that nobody has constraint not to go there. We will eliminate illiteracy in 2 years. Let them, everything I say, I will tell you how to do it. How am I going to do that? Every child, every student from kindergarten to college level will be compelled, but also given stipend every month to teach at least 10 illiterate people in his community or in your community.
You give stipend for that?
Stipend.
Okay.
So let's say you're giving even
Inter-One Gongolo government.
Inter-One Gongolo's government.
Okay.
Let's assume you're giving $10 to every child from 7th grade to college, teaching at least 10 persons in your community every week. I mean, every day when they come from school as an after-school program. I said 2 years, every librarian.
Where you get that money from? That kind of money?
There's money in this country.
Money in this country?
Yeah, there's money here. All right.
People cry that difficult.
No.
Money.
The people who cry are the people who should actually receive services that I'm talking about. But the president pro tem, the speaker, the president, all the people are not crying. The people at the top level are just living as if they are not in Liberia. They're living in a different world. You know, we'll get there. But we'll do that. So that's in education area, right? We'll teach our young people the arts and culture. And not just dancing, our whole culture. This carving are part of our culture. I've seen people in the interior doing wood carving, the thing they call devil face and all of that. That thing is jump up. You see the vibe, women dancers with their face and all those things are done right here. I'll put need wood carving. You need to learn that. Even weaving is part of our culture. I'll put a need to learn that. Facing baskets and all those things. The same thing that I taught in the Sunday and Poro can be taught at cultural centers and in schools for our young people to learn, so that our whole culture goes on. We have an obligation to let who we are to go on long after we are.
Okay, great.
Then we'll do that. Then that's education and health. Quite important. My brother, you go to JFK today, they only give you prescription until you go to Lucky Pharmacy. And I always tell people, if JFK does not have medicine, they're not the clinic in Honiahun, Lufakandi, or Bokaza, or even in Boajiken, Grand Crew County, that you expect to have medicine. So I am going to make sure that all government hospitals and clinics are better than the private hospitals and clinics. How do
your government?
Honor my government.
I'm recording you.
Record me.
Okay.
Honor my government. Councillor Tiawan Gongla as president will go to JFK for medical checkup.
You won't fly to
No.
Ghana. You won't go to India.
No way. I'll go to JFK for medical checkup. I will go to Redemption Hospital for medical checkup. Or
you go to the 14 military hospital for checkup.
No, they say I still I won't go there yet.
Okay, you go to the Emory, the hospital in Bapolo.
No,
the Emory Hospital in Bapolo, you go for checkup.
I'm president of the country, I go to JJ Dawson Hospital in Kipamos.
Why you don't want to go to the Bapolo hospital?
I will go to the different hospitals, all right? Because if they say they still at the eye, they say, "Oh, that one that got medicine." I want to go to the areas, Telewayan Hospital in Lofa. The reason I would do that when I get to the hospital, and here is how I'm going to put in the budget the required medical equipment anywhere in the world. We'll purchase them. If we don't have experts in any field of medicine, we'll give them contract to come here while we train our own, so that Liberia is complete in terms of the medical experts. But there are medical experts here who don't have equipment to work with. I was at a funeral the other day. I saw 2 cancer experts, young Liberian doctors. They said they were training in India, but they said, "We are frustrated, nothing to work with. We can kill people."
Okay, so that's a plan you have.
So we'll do that. We'll do that because when I go to the hospital and they say, "Mr. President, I think you can go abroad. We can get it. Yeah, ask my finance minister, have you dispersed the money to the hospital?" I said, "Yeah." I'll fire the head of the hospital and turn you over to the police for full investigation for you to come. See how they will investigate you. And I struck.
That's the kind of person that you want.
Yes. I want to be a tax master. I want to make sure there's accountability all through the process. So when I do that, and about 10 heads of hospital and clinics are facing prosecution or they are in jail, I strongly believe any hospital clinic you go to in Liberia, you'll find medicine there.
Is a message resonating well? I mean, you have good plans for Liberia. At least, I've listened to you almost 10 minutes now. This is what you want to do for your country. Are the people looking at Telon Gogolo? Probably this is the first time contesting. He's new. Let's wait a little bit. We have a good. Is it resonating?
It is resonating so much from Cape Mount to Cape Palmas. I was in Wangil Call a few months ago. As I entered Wangil Call, all the women were having broom in their hands. It was still corruption. In fact, we still the poor in power from that. They're too corrupt. They got the mining company here, got out 35 towns. No crop can grow here. We can't even drink our water. So corruption. That's their point. I was just in Ghana over the weekend. I just told you the crowd I saw I've never seen anywhere in Liberia.
Since Ellen time, you see that kind of crowd here.
Even before Ellington, tell us that didn't put a crowd in Ghana.
The crowd that came out for you.
Yes. And
the same people that will say, oh, tell one, Dr. Urek, tell one Gongolo. These are the same people who say, yeah, at the ballot box, they turn the back from you.
No, they will vote for me because I don't have money to put that kind of crowd. We're not bossing people.
What are you so sure about this election?
I left Monroe. The election is about messaging. They've tried money, they've tried beverage, they've tried liquor, they've tried election time scholarship. I call the scholarship donors election time humanitarians, and political investors. They are warning people that when people invest in the political process, they will get profit. And the profit are corruption, then you start suffering for 6 years. So listen to the message and watch our track record. Read about us. People are coming to me a lot. Over the weekend, I think 5 or 6 persons from CPP who were coordinators in NIMBA came to the program in Ghana and actually read a statement that their values are not consistent with the values of CPP. You see their values consistent with LPP and they joined LPP. They were with me.
You got votes from the CDC to the United Party to going your way.
So I'm just saying that, therefore, I'm becoming a player. The people are not leaving LPP. Nobody has left LPP.
What's your strength like in other counties?
So,
you both of Nimba, Bon County. Emmanuel Ure is there from Bon County. You must rather.
But
your strength in other counties. I'm worried about you in the Southeastern.
Oh, well, I talked. In fact, in Southeastern, CDC will be surprised. They're not going to win there. Why? It's natural. They expected much more than any other country because they say Southeastern, the government not just run by the president, the chief justice, the speaker, the deputy speaker, the president pro tem, the central bank governor, the finance minister, all from Southeast Liberia. These are things that they know because in a place called Puchu Tiamatan, I just said when I was speaking, the president from Southeast, the blow buster Kandogong, I'm not shouting at you. The whole government is from Southeast. People are wicked. They don't like us. Look at the road condition. So they look at the road condition. And whenever President George Weah or anybody from CDC say Weah is a bad road medicine, the people in the Southeast get so angry because they can't move from one point to another. I mean, I always like to talk about my experience in Kilipo Kamweken. From Kilipo Kamweken to Gripo Kamweken, normal time is 20 to 30 minutes by road. I went there dry season. From Kilipo Kamweken to Gripo Kamweken, I left Kilipo Kamweken 5 o'clock to reach Gripo Kamweken 6 o'clock. People mobilized waiting for me. I reached at 1 a.m. in the morning because my 3 vehicles were stuck in the mud. There were 20 other trucks stuck in the mud, and we couldn't pass until 1 a.m. So we had to do our program the next day. They said, Council will understand the government in power, they didn't get time for us. They may treating us like if for another era, we said our Southeastern some, but we're the ones suffering. All right. So in Grand Crew, especially, Joshua is going to get the lowest vote in Grand Crew.
So, Council,
he's not even going to win in Sastan, his hometown, because I went to Sastan, they were clapping for me like when I was speaking.
I hope Council can get me from here now. Council, can you get me from here now? Okay, that's great. There's this policy that a lot of people believe, this harmonization, a lot of people believe that it took away or it reduced the economic power of civil servants. What will you do when you become president?
Well, I've said that we will harmonize up the top people in government salary will be harmonized downwards. We will elevate the civil servants. We increase their salaries and conditions. We improve the conditions of service. Police, teachers, and health workers. These are the 4 areas that provide services. And when I say police, I mean immigration, DEA, just law enforcement, right?
Everybody.
Right. And judicial workers. We need to improve these people who provide services for us, the condition of service of our military. I was talking to a soldier the other day, and I say, I know you don't talk politics. I want you to support me. I give you earning the money. And he said, look, we don't talk politics, Councillor, but we can talk reality. Then he started talking about reality, school fees for the children, different conditions, even the Cassidy barracks and all that. He said, I'm not talking politics, I'm just talking reality that will catch in hell is not easy. So we will improve the life of the servicemen, people who make our system work. But let me go to the other thing. There are two more things I want to talk about. I talk about health. In the health area, let me conclude. This is a premise. Pregnant women, children under the age of 5, and all old Liberians from 65 years old up will get free medical services. They will not pay 1 cent in any government hospital and clinic. That is a promise. Take it home. A judgment by everyone when I become president. Yes. And the other thing is food. In the country only, somebody give you a bowl of yam right now with chicken and cow meat inside. Gribble, you eat it, your stomach full, you can't even breathe. When I ask you 7 o'clock evening, Oni, have you eaten today? I ain't enough food. I just yam I ate this morning. That's Liberian. What do you consider food? Even if you eat 1 tablespoon of rice,
the most stable food.
So, but that rice here, we don't produce it here. So the food insecurity in Liberia is very high, and no nation can achieve anything without feeding your nation, your people, because you see, to take medicine, you have to eat. To go to school, you have to eat. To go to work, you have to eat. But the price of rice will keep going up until we start growing sufficient rice in Liberia. Today, the only cutlasses and hoe they can use. I want to introduce mechanized farming. Government will buy machines and give it to the farmers in the 15 counties. Farmers, you're listening to me, this is a promise. And give the machines to farmers in the 15 counties through a loan that will be administered by the Agriculture and Cooperative Development Bank, which I intend to revive, to give loans to individual farmers and the farmers' cooperatives so that they can grow rice. Because I believe if we have rice farm like Sahara Rubber Company, Firestone Rubber Company, Cocopa, Kavala, all the people, if we have rice farm like that, there will be so much rice in the country that the price of rice will be so low that becquerel might even go for $5. There was a time becquerel of $4 in the country in the 60s. Then Liberia might even become a rice exporter.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do that. Then the last thing is movement. For the citizen to move from one place to another is their right. It is the obligation of the government to make sure that people move freely. That violation of freedom of movement, that right of freedom of movement is being violated by this government in power. Because, the example I show, if you are a planting farmer in Webo or Webo Nyanyakan or Take or even Plibo in Southeast, and you want to bring your planting to Monrovia to make money, and you went to the Susu people and credit that maybe $50,000, $100,000 to bring your truck of planting to Monrovia because you know you make money. If you're making contact, I'll go by job. You come to that mud between Kidibo Kaweke and Bopo Kaweke, and you are stuck there 10 days. What will happen to your planting? It will all get rotting. Then the small money you had at home, you have to take it and pay the Susu people, or you go credit money to pay the Susu people. You have become poorer. So bad road makes people poorer. It's increasing the level of poverty in this country. And the road was not like that before. So while government is paving road, government needs to maintain the road. I will put follower station in all the 15 counties with enough yellow machines to keep the road maintained. Let me tell you, 1979, before you were born, I was coming from Maryland. I took taxi in Harper City, 1979, in July. 6 o'clock in the morning, 9 p.m. in the evening, I was in Monrovia. Today, the poor of Harper for more than 20 years have not seen taxi. Taxi can't go there unless it's coming from Harper to Plibo and back on the quota because the roads are not being maintained. Isn't it a shameful thing that when the president pro tem is going, you pass through Ivory Coast, through Ghana Fair, even when other people from Southeast, all the Southeastern politicians, the one in government, the one outside government, the speaker, you are going to register to vote, and you knew if you are going to roll, maybe you have been stuck in the mud for 1 week, and you will not have registered to vote, which will have put his position in jeopardy. He passed through Ivory Coast. Commies who claims, and I use the word claim, because I want to.
That he's not president.
Yeah, no, I said soft-eating politicians.
Okay.
Commies
So you
who
put it all in one basket now.
Commies who claims to come from Maryland, pass through Ivory Coast to go to Maryland. I who come from Nimba.
Where you pass through?
I pass through.
You passing the mud.
I pass through the mud.
President, we are going campaign and pass through the mud.
You're
going through the mud and pass through.
Experiencing all of the difficulties. Because when you experience the difficulties that the ordinary people are experiencing, then obviously you develop a mindset. I got to take care of this when I become president. That's what I'm experiencing.
This election was just for the 9 days. I mean, it's good that we gave you length of time. At least you say your heart like principle. Listen, for the 9 days of election, how do you think Liberians going to vote? I mean, I'm a bit confused. I mean, anybody can put up a crowd in this country.
I don't depend on crowd. I am the only politician, because I'm an advocate. I got an advocate of background.
Normally, when we have politicians, the compound of Truth FM will be stormed. You have the battle crowds and all of that.
I'm not like that.
You're not like that.
No, I'm not like that.
Now, we can see the noise out here, the noise
but
out
you see,
there.
the noise were in Nimba. When I left from here, I left with less than 20 persons. And my supporter, I want to go on a trip. I said, no. I want to judge whether I got people in Nimba. So I'm not going to troop people to Nimba. All right? The only people who came to Nimba came from Banga. Because they say, oh, this thing happened here, people a big crime, Banga, they came, all right? But to say people came from somewhere, no. So I don't do that. Because that deceptive politics, you're deceiving yourself. I don't do that. So I can tell you, people are going to vote on the message. They want their conditions to change. And I tell Liberian people, I want to change Liberia's story for the better. That's why I have the Better Liberia is Possible slogan. A better Liberia is possible. We'll stop stealing, because government is a place to serve, not to steal.
What's the thing with the Elections Commission? Yesterday, I interviewed as I've been on the comments. He talked about some naming of the board of commission or named by the president. What's the take of the Elections Commission?
I mean, I'm a lawyer. The president has the authority, legal authority. That one you can't share with anybody to appoint members of the commission. But other presidents will consult with the opposition or civil society and appoint an election commission that people have confidence in. It's important to do so because we've had history of election commission performing very terribly in the past. Francis Johnson Morris's commission, Fumaya's commission, Elizabeth Boyina, Nelson's commission, I mean, performed creditably well, and people praised them for that. International community ourselves. Look at Elizabeth Boyina. She was chairperson of the commission. Well, her husband, Blambo Nelson, was running for the Senate, and he lost his seat. So, you cannot...
But this current body have a history where they have taken us into the by-election, a special election, and given the results.
Right. So, for me, I say, let's watch, when you praise what I say, white chicken, they can get it. So watch them. They've done well in those elections, right? So we've got one of the biggest one, presidential election with 20 candidates. They've been beyond schedule in many things, which is a little bit problematic. And
they've been producing district by district, counties as the amount of registered voters. Right. That's what the media were using.
Well, I'm saying that, but I'm saying many of these things could have happened much earlier. Voter registration was late. Of course, you put it on the government because the government should have provided all. But I worked with the Elections Commission before. I was lawyer from my time to Nelson time, and they were working. Some of the things they were doing 2 years before were the things that have been, they just.
So I'm a bit afraid. You talk about the Southeastern, right? When ballot box had to be issued, and how do people manage and get
the government should not. I told President we had the other day when all the presidential candidates met at the Elections Commission, and the chair leader of the Elections Commission came up and said the government had not paid all the money, but the government has assured us that it would pay all the money. I took the microphone and told President Weah, order your Minister of Finance to pay the money today. If you think election is expensive, think about how much money is spent on conflict. Billions of dollars are spent during our civil conflict. And the conflict evolved out of our lack of trust of the 1985 election result. So let us have an election that is free, fair, and transparent, inclusive, that nobody will question. Spend the money now. I said, so give the order today. And he told me, he said, oh, Councilor Gonglo, that process. I said, what process? Give the order now. The process is technical. So later on, just to bring the attention, and he saw me, shaking hands and all that, taking pictures. He said, Councilor Gonglo, you went to our party yesterday. Yeah, good you did, but take all of us for lunch now. I said, you president, I told you.
You mean the president we are saying this?
Yeah, we're joking.
Okay.
No, I'm always joking. I'm the one.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm relaxing. I said, oh, and I told you to give money to election commission. You said that process to take you put for lunch. That process too.
Okay. So process and process. Okay.
But no, but the people in the election commission individually are good people. I mean, people like Yuri, my good friend, who work on that commission. The commission for
the Brown lesson.
I know her for a long time. She's a friend too. We work at Star Radio, our lawyer. She was the leading journalist there. I'm critical of her many times, but she understands that's my nature. I do not compromise Liberia's interest. I don't care who you are. So I always say I got two C's that I'm loyal to: my country and my conscience.
Your conscience.
Yeah, my conscience. So she knows that we're very good friends, and all the people there, Douglas was my classmate in the law school, so we know each other. Liberia is small, we all know each other.
Your chances in this election.
Individually, I think, they will work together to do well. And let me say,
what are your chances in this election?
I think I have a fair chance. I have a fair chance. And nobody should say, oh,
that's
your first time.
Second round.
Why are you restricting the election to the second round?
Because this is this country from 2005 up to
you said from 2005, but maybe it's been.
Or you go into one round victory, the same thing with the coalition of Democrats.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, let's put everything in the logical range of probability. That it is possible that you have first round. It's possible that is second round. Because Liberia, people are gullible. The level of ignorance is high. Do you know some people are now saying that 12 years George Wright entitlement because Ellen had 12 years. These are things that need to be explained. So when you talk about second round, people just think that, oh yeah, there has to be a second round. So there's all of these things are probable.
Given to the fact of our recent election.
So don't know what I'm saying. People should not be fixed.
I guess have you seen CDC one round victory? That's not scary. That's saying scare you, the opposition. One round.
No, it doesn't scare me.
Sounding
they
put a sounding behind
it. Doesn't.
Or sounding one round victory.
Yeah, that aspiration. It doesn't scare me because the reality is different. I mean, if one pool, for example, let's say Grand Juda was Liberia. There was a pool in Grand Juda not long ago where George Weah got 418 votes from the callers, and Councilor George Weah CDC and Councilor Gonglo LPP got 398 votes. Bwaka is 17, but Bwaka UP 17. But UP people will sit down here and say there's a two-horse race. It's just between CDC and Unity Party. These are aspirational. When people running campaign, they campaign that they will win. They look for the highest. So they are saying that these are campaign statements. The campaign statements may not necessarily be true. These are, what United Party says about itself, what CDC says about itself is different from what other people say. And less than 5% of the people in Liberia are members of political parties. That one, the statisticians have checked it. So 95% of the people in this country don't belong to any political party. And they are the ones that make judgment.
The silent voters.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the face of the Liberians People Party, Councilor Terence Gongolo, LPP. You know what on the ballot box?
Number 6.
Number 6.
Well, let me tell you about. You see,
so we got 18th Street, we got 4th Street, we got 2nd Street, then we got 6th Street.
No, but let me tell you about 6 now.
Okay, number 6.
Number 6 is a number on a football field with 11 players. And what does 6 do? I play 6.
You played football before?
Yeah.
Then George Weah will come
in.
Wait. Talk about football business.
Let's come. I'm not competing with George Weah. I play. Let me put amateur football.
Oh, amateur. Okay. Great. Go ahead.
Amateur. I never even made a school team. I used to play the children team in Blazer. I didn't play for Blazer people. They didn't qualify me. When we're having the old timers game with the young people, then I can play.
Okay.
but I never qualified for serious game. No way. Even in Kwaipa, where I grew up in Bonkande, the children used to say, the men are boy, because I was always like 5 years, 5 classes ahead of my colleagues. Okay. So they say the men are boy, nothing else. Even the brushing farm. Even brushing farm, I was really lazy. We go brush farm, the children were leaving behind and be where from in the cool. So that one, another my era. But let me say number 6. What I know number 6, and I the one that can distribute the play.
The defensive.
If you don't have good number 6, you can't win.
Yeah. The whole team breaks down.
And at number 6, I'm playing.
Number 6 on the bar.
Even when the bar plays, I'm on number 6. So I'm number 6. And let me tell you about number 6. If I want to be, metaphysical, I would say about win. Because this number 6 that I'm on, I was born August 6th. Beside the fact that I played number 6. Then I was elected Standard Bearer LPP at the age of 66.
Okay, at 6 still going.
Then I was born 1956.
At 6 still going.
Don't
repeat that thing, man. Come on, let's go.
Then 6, I played number.
They see what the boy explained the 18 for the president, eh? So you explain your own at 6 again. Take your time. Yeah, the 6.
Number 6. When I play football, I play number 6.
Number 6, that one there.
Yeah. I was elected Standard Bearer of LPP at the age of 66.
That's 2 there.
My birthday is August 6th.
That's 3 there.
Then I was born 1956.
That's 4 there. Tell him for president.
Yeah. I have 4. So 6 that my number. 6 that the number this year. That the number 6.
But like woman wouldn't read and write, go to the bottom bar and say, just look for number 6.
Yeah, you count your 5 finger, then you add 1 at number 6. They will carry the racks there. They're different till like 7 racks. They carry 7 racks there. Yes. And I've told them all over the country.
Tell was number 7 in the ballot box.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
they carry racks in
there. They carry 7 racks.
Okay.
They say that the one I'm voting for.
Okay. You count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Don't take 1 from there.
So they will carry the 6. In fact, they want they just count their 5 finger and 1. Then that's 6.
Right.
That the one I'm voting for. Easy. 5 plus 6. Plus 1 is 6.
Have you heard the saying protect your vote before we get the lines open? Protect, how can people protect their vote?
So one of the things we tell the Elections Commission, and everybody's hearing me, nobody to carry telephone in our voting room. Okay. Because there are some politicians who are promising people, if you go and vote and you take the picture of the ballot, you bring it, I'll give you $20, I'll give you $50. No, one of the way to protect the fairness of the voting process is to not allow anybody to enter with phone.
Even if a journalist.
No. Nobody must enter with phone in that place.
You think this going to work? Elections Commission going to listen to
we will. All of the parties.
I mean, it's one good way of protecting your vote.
Yeah.
And your vote is your right.
Let them go there and not take any picture of it. The only result we should get should be from the Elections Commission when they count the ballots and paste it on the wall. Yeah.
You can take your phone and take the picture now.
Because they are taking. I understand the party are even taking
people
voter cards and things like. When you go, the day of election will give it to you. When you go, you vote, you snap it, you bring us out, we'll give you $20. No, that is corruption. That is unfairness. It means that people will not vote freely. And there's a very poor society. This society is so imperfect. Look, let me tell you, what they call it, Kobo used to be 175, 100, 125. Kobo is now, I'm a master's
time value of money, man.
Yeah.
Money at that time.
Right now it's $400.
Yeah,
$500. And with people used to buy Kobo alone, they can do joint venture now. They put know about joint venture. They start doing for joint venture. When they tell the Kobo seller, that's a pay. We get nothing. Especially the Yana boys. They say, oh man, they even here. In fact, by the time at 12 o'clock, the woman in busy, you're too pay now. I beg you. So my rice can be over. So it's tough. The poverty level is because we get Wall Street, so we can judge people by the prices of commodity in the street and how people are faring.
Great.
Yeah, and also, I don't know. Yes.
The Standard Bearer, the face of the LPP.
Yo, give my time.
Which time?
Don't worry, I'm ready in time. Yes, I'm ready in time. Yes, it's 10 o'clock already. Let's get the lines activated. Councilor Talon said Gongolo, he's number 6 on the ballot box. So Maka, you can pick call from your
0770202579.
Thank you. Tears came in my eyes. You really show that I'm a son of member.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Council. Good morning.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Good morning. No, they may adjust our issue, my man. They may adjust the issue. You didn't listen?
Yeah, what's out there?
They may admit that yes, the money came, but then the people are many. You can't give you something, other people get anything, so they spray it.
Every time I do that, I'll call on one thing. Marka, let's pick other calls up. Every time you call.
Good morning, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Morning.
But other people just came in June.
Okay, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Let me pick
go.
up from this end. Yeah, you got your candidate. You just said the main contestant say he can't lead. Already on the ballot. But let's pick up Derek Ernest Coty, former lawmaker, the no one to the House, never been elected.
We hear
you. Derek, go ahead.
I just laugh. Maybe you just want to be, I don't know, funny. But when it comes to credibility, you're just on their side. And that was the only reason why people supposed to be president for this country, then he's already president. Oh yeah, he has a good character. Now, Councilor, you may not be president right now, like they call it before me just mentioned. As for me, I like to be very frank about issues. You may not be right now. I'm not saying you will not be because of the situation right now. But I can say something. If you ever get, I'm praying that you get there one day. You mentioned something which touched me, Justin. This issue of going to a hospital right here. It means that you will make sure that the health system is number one in Africa.
Yes.
It's possible. Yes. About 7 or 8 of our government officials have gone abroad and died there. And it didn't stop the problem. When JSK is right here and other big hospitals are here that we should be going to, we're not going there. Starting, I don't want to call names yet, but I would just call one person, my good friend and brother, Eugene Falabaka. It was so painful. Now, these are people, you know the names, O'Neill and MARKA. They went there and they came back as cargo. You went abroad to get treatment, the lectures pay the senator from Babylon. Why can't we fix the hospitals here and go right here? So if the president is saying that I will go to a hospital here, it means that all of the people in this country will be able to go to the hospital right here.
Yeah.
It means that it will be a very good place to go to the hospital. Councilor, like I say, you're my brother and friend.
Yeah, so if you win the presidency, you know Chancellor was your friend, Ellen Johnson, your auntie. If you won't win, he will be your woo now.
No, I'm brother, a big brother. Not big brother.
I'm saying if Chancellor wins the presidency, you be who to you, your uncle, your big brother.
I already said I'm my big brother.
Let's take this call.
I'll let you go. Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning. Go ahead.
My name is Mo. So much. I will not make mistake and I regret for selecting you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning.
To MARKA.
Go ahead, you're live. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Michael Williams, and I joined you this morning from Kingsville. Good morning to our ever-Putin councillor.
Morning.
Councillor Gonglo. Thank you this morning for the deliberation. My question is, Council, if there will be a second round, there will be a second round. Are you in the sense between the incumbent President George Weah and Joseph Yuma Boaka, the former Vice President? Are you going to support the former Vice President? Thank you.
Why didn't ask them, who are you going to support? You're making recommendation to them.
Let's pick one more call. Do you have a caller there?
Yes, let me speak. Emmett from Margibi. Emmett, good morning.
Morning.
Okay.
Amen.
All right. Great. So as we try to close up at 10:15 exact, we'll give you.
Respond.
Yes, we'll give you the next 8-9 minutes to go ahead.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Now let me start with this thing. Let me start with myself. You know, I spoke last week and said the peace of this country will not be compromised by anyone, not a voter, not a politician. The presidential job is not anybody's inheritance. Nobody will it to anyone. And you don't have to be president. So this desperation that is causing people to create violence here should not be tolerated. Nobody should accept that. In fact, we should reject any politician that talks about violence. I have said, if any member of LPP, and LPP people are listening to me, any member of LPP who engages in violence will be condemned by me first. And as a lawyer, I will make Gonglo and associate with the state to prosecute you. I don't have to be president for you to hurt someone else. It's wrong. And I believe that all of us, President Weah, Honorable Joe Boaka, and all of the candidates in this race must be clear to the partisans that they do not tolerate violence. It is disappointing to hear the former VP, if he made that statement, I didn't listen to it, to make that kind of statement. I really hope he didn't make it. Because to threaten the use of force, it means you are premeditating already.
So I've listened. Let me interrupt. I listened to Senator Dillon. Let me just quote Dillon, who was the campaign chair of the United Party, Monserrato. He said, "Next time you're strong, I will strong your shoot. I will shoot."
That is also wrong. That is also wrong. All political leaders in government, outside government, are role models for the young people of this country. It is wrong. Dillon is a very good friend of mine, and he has said, "Oh, you know, if I'm not supporting Joseph Boaka, I'll be supporting Gonglo. He's the best candidate, blah, blah, blah." But that will not make me to disagree with and condemn that statement. It's wrong. We should not let our emotion carry us. No political party can compete in violence with a sitting government. No question about that. Unless you want to expose people's children to die. So they get in the street and 50% die. Are you able to replace those children? No, we should not push that. It's wrong. If Joseph Boaka made that statement, it's wrong. It's inconsistent with the experience that put up by the old man experience, age should come with wisdom. But that statement he made yesterday is worse than a student leader, in any school. So that carry his rating way down. And then they say, oh, the old man, oh, no. You should not. I believe that people are pushing, oh, Papa, they say you're weak. Papa, you say you're weak. That's not the way to show strength. Strength should be in wisdom. So it's wrong. I disagree with Joseph Boaka on that. And somebody talk about in your government, I think that the only question, the president's opinion from Nimba that, you just come in the race and blah, blah, blah. Then the second question about Joseph Boaka, I like the way Michael said it. Why you say in the second round, if you don't win, will you support someone? That's a more objective question. Because we don't even know that if there's a second round, it will be between CDC and United Party.
You're in the voters' house.
Yeah. You already voting, everybody out now that these are the two. It's not true. We are not sure. Oh, Dillon won here. You know, so it means that it's possible that that CDC does not even come third or fourth. It is possible that United Party become the fifth or sixth. You know, we should not have this arrogance that the votes are already in the safe somewhere, and that they will just open it. Joe Biden got 400,000 votes in 2017. They are blocked in the safe somewhere, and you will just release it and add some more. That's not true. That's not how human beings. Even the way you and I are sitting in the studio now, the way you think about me, if I make some kind of statement right now, your whole view about me will change.
I have a voting right. You don't know what I'm going to vote.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying something right now. You could say, oh, I used to. I thought Gonglo was different, but the way I see him talking, I changed my mind completely.
And many people listen to you.
So people can do that. So politicians should be careful about the statements they make, because when you make statements, you incite people. You know, one of my friends from Banga during Taylor Day, he thought he was trying to endear himself to Taylor. He said, that Councillor Gonglo, they must have talked about war crime. That Councillor Gonglo, he the only, Attorney Gonglo is the only lawyer in the president. He the one bringing that thing. That man, I can cut his neck with draw cutlass. So he came to me and said, my man, you know you can't kill me. Why you stand in Banga and said that? He said, my man, you know I can't kill you. I said, but you finished instructing the generals because they said they were there. So why did one day one of the general can say, Chief, your orders carrier will finish with that man. How you feel? He said, we're not happy. He said, I said, but you finish giving me the last time you made in front of them.
He can do it, but he's a leader.
Exactly. Just as Joe Barker said, you know, the people, so you know, the people might be preparing themselves already. Yeah, our leader finished talking. They will not try that thing next time. You see, petrol. So people that start throwing petrol bomb and start throwing grenade order and killing people. What was it? Then you say, "Oh, I didn't mean that." No, we can't incite violence.
Okay,
we must restrain ourselves.
As you close up, as you close up,
I want all politicians in Liberia not to compromise our unity, our peace, and reconciliation. In fact, we should showcase our ability to reconcile and unite this country as we go along. That's what I'm doing deliberately in my campaign. When I went around the country, for example, as a monument for Nimba, I slept in Tucson. And you know, the people in Tucson were so excited that an opposition politician who had been critical actually mustered the courage to sleep in Tucson because they neglected people. I went to Zoe Penal House, spoke to the people, they were happy. We should do that. I went to Penal's home, the late vice head of state. I went to Sano, I went to his home. General Tomo was home. You know, when the big tree falls, the people look like they are absolutely. I want to go back home. You know, Princeton is Thomas was saying. I want to Zozwale, go back home. I want to Jason to Blole. All I'm trying to do is to bring people together, you know, that we are not forgetting we got people. Then the thing I think I did, I feel very happy about is the surprise visits to non-political party headquarters, including CDC, Unity Party, ANC, Lino, all of the parties, Rainbow Coalition, even the parties that don't have presidential candidates.
African Liberation.
And all of them, I went to the, African Liberation. I'm challenging the people who are talking about Waka and we are communists. They say they are the three. I challenged them in the last meeting we had. I said, I want to see George Weah get up and go to Unity Party headquarters to show that he's a man that can unite this country. I want to see Waka get up, muster the courage. In politics, in leadership, you take risk. Go to CDC headquarters. I want to see Cummings get up and go to Unity Party headquarters and CDC headquarters. I want to see Waka get up and go to CPP headquarters. Let them show leadership.
Going to do what now? As we try to close
unite, you're trying to unite.
I mean, you want my seat down. George is in a seat. Well, Cummings wants on seat him. Waka wants on seat. He said, go to party headquarters.
As much as we want this power, let the people say, we are one people. Even after the election, we'll be one people. If anybody wins the election, you'll be dealing with all of the partisans in the other party. We'll have only one party after the election. It will be Liberia. and we'll show that we can keep this Liberia united. You know, I like the second stanza of our national anthem. It says, "In union, strong success is sure."
Yes.
Nothing that we want to do in this country we can do without unity. That's one of the things.
Make sure don't lose this broom.
Make sure
you don't lose
one
the
string of the broom can easily break.
Thank you, Council.
And you together it's difficult to break.
Thank you,
And
Council.
I'm going to unite this country to wipe out corruption from the government of this country and to make progress in providing social services.
We look
Thank
forward to
you.
see you before campaign closes.
You want me tomorrow? I will come.
No,
I'm ever ready.
All right, still on
Thank you,
camera, so
Council.
we have to sign off with you before leaving up. I mean, you're so energetic, going everywhere. You went to how many counties?
I've been to the 15 counties. I've been to
330
towns.
towns.
Yeah. Yesterday, in fact, if you know, do you know Ganta? You've been to Ganta?
No, I've been there.
Shimon, you have never been to Ghana.
I've been to Grand Bazaar.
No, try and go to Ghana.
Why be shame me?
Best swimming pool you'll find.
So if I say you been to Belaya, if you said no, that's a shame on you.
I've been to Belaya.
Okay.
So let me tell you now, I will provide you weekend money to go to Ghana.
Okay.
That's a promise.
All right.
You gotta go to
I'm going Ghana.
No, let me have to go to Ghana the weekend. I'll pay your
I
I'm going
think
to do what?
No,
yeah.
just go to see Ghana.
I
Just
don't
go and see the place.
Okay, go for a weekend. Enjoy yourself. You don't come on the show on Friday. So Friday,
I think no one share you.
Mike, you
Yes.
my witness.
Okay.
I'm your witness.
Remind him on Thursday evening.
Yes.
I will give him money. I will pay
Okay.
transportation to go and come back.
Don't put me on
Okay.
situation that I cannot
And
handle.
I'm going to talk to Fort Thomas when you sleep in a hotel.
You Jackie. You sleep at Jackie.
Then you
Yes.
swim at the swimming pool, play basketball, all that.
Yes.
You know, you see Ganta is a city away from Monroe.
Okay.
That's it. You know.
All right. Thank you, the voice of Council Tell say going to close now. So it's been wonderful on the breakfast show this morning. Election is just an event in the Sarah Ambassador voice. Trust me, this election will come and go. Vote your conscience and let leave it with the Elections Commission to bring out the results to Liberian people. Protect your vote. That's a campaign coming up by the 1st of September. How do you protect your vote? We'll teach Liberians how to protect your vote.
No.
That is your right.
Don't carry any phone.
Yes, Baka, Oni Roberts, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.